So, first of all, you'll have to excuse the state of the place. It's the school holidays and I'm running a kids bike charity, so as you can imagine, it's insanely busy at the moment, and I've got bikes coming in and going out to new homes every day. Every bike goes out, is gifted to me, is given to me, donated to me to be fixed up, and then is given out free to a child in need. Anyway, the point that was just my apology for the messy shed. The point of today's video is cycling over 50 and the attitude changes. I've made videos on this before, but the biggest one is, and I think you could take this as a kind of piece of advice at any age, is stop caring about trends, stop caring about what other people ride, how much other people spend on their bikes, you know, the latest fashion, gravel, whatever else, the 5, 6, 7,000 pound bikes. The bike you've got in the shed, from 1995 is still going to be usable on some level. You can take that 30-year-old mountain bike to a trail centre with 26-inch wheels, and there'll be a trail there you can ride on that bike. And if you're in a group when everybody's riding 26-inch wheels, it's a level playing field, it's a lot of fun. It's that old analogy I've said before, you know, riding a 26-inch bike obviously isn't optimal compared to riding a modern 29er. You know, the handling, the brakes, everything would be better on the modern bike. But the same can be said about cars. A classic car isn't as optimal as a brand new car, but people still drive classic cars because there's a challenge, there's a connection to driving the older car, and the same goes to riding an older bike. You're not trying to make it compete with, you know, you're not trying to make your 1995 GT on 26-inch wheels compete with a 29er full suspension, something that somebody just paid 5 grand for. If the bike is in your shed and you're holding back on riding it because it's not the latest thing, stop. And I think that comes with age. You kind of stop caring about what people think and what other people are doing, and you just kind of get on with it, basically. You know, it's I'm quite happy. Some of the best rides I've been on, I've got a carbon road bike, as you know, you've seen it before on the channel. I've got a gravel bike. Some of the best rides I've been on, solo rides and group rides, I've been on old 26-inch retro mountain bikes. You know, they're still great fun to ride. A lot of the bikes I ride are rigid, the older bikes, no suspension at all. But there's something in your area, whether it's natural or trail centre, there'll be somewhere you can ride that bike. So stop worrying, stop looking at magazines and thinking you need the latest stuff. Stop worrying about what other people have got. Stop thinking that everybody's riding an electric mountain bike now. Just ride what you've got in the shed. Just go out there now, dust off your 30-year-old bike and just ride it. And I promise you there'll be, you'll you know, I was going to say you'll fit in somewhere, but why would you try and fit in? As long as you're doing something for yourself that's giving you a mental boost, a physical boost, some enjoyment, the nostalgia. If you're my age and you're riding a 90s bike, it's a massive nostalgia thing. It's like being a kid again. You know, it's for you. You do it for you, so do it on whatever you want. Ride drop bar, ride flat bar, ride 26, ride 29, 32's on the horizon any minute now anyway, so that'll be another wheel standard, which makes another generation of frames supposedly redundant, but it doesn't suddenly mean that no 29er is going to be a rideable bike just because they brought out 32-inch wheels. You know, people are still going to use their 29ers the same as they always have. So yeah, really what I'm trying to say it really badly here is ride what you've got. Best bike is the one you've got. Don't wait until you can save up or you can struggle or you can get into debt for the latest thing. Just ride the bike you've got. There's somewhere you can ride it in whatever you want. Ride in jeans, ride in trainers, ride in full kit, ride clipped in, ride flats. It doesn't matter. There's no need to fit in with everybody else. The benefits everybody gets from riding a bike you can get on any bike, even the most simpler bikes. Obviously there are advantages to the latest kit, and there are evolutions and things that, you know, that make cycling easier in a way, but it doesn't make the old stuff redundant. It really doesn't. Like I say, 26 inch is a big thing for me, because doing this project means I get quite a lot of the old 26 inch 80s and 90s bikes donated to me that have been in people's sheds for the last 30 years. And honestly, I ride quite a lot of them, because obviously they need to all be tested once they're fixed, and they're fantastic fun. And if you're like I say, if you're over 50 or at 50 and you rode those bikes when they first came out in the 90s, it's a major nostalgia thing. It's just so much fun. It literally takes you back to being like a 15-16-year-old again, you know, riding on these rigid bikes, and for the first time adventuring off-road on a bike, because at that point, you know, we all had our races or whatever, and nobody really ventured off-road. BMX was kind of a short distance thing. It wasn't, you know, you could take your BMX off-road, but you wouldn't be out all day riding up a mountain on it with a single speed and 20-inch wheels. Although some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're fit enough. But yeah, there's no need to fit in. There's no need to constantly be chasing trends, looking at magazines and thinking, if you look at a magazine today, you're going to think you need £3,000 minimum to get into mountain biking or road cycling, because that's all you're going to see in those magazines, and it's just not true. So yeah, all I'm trying to say really is, use what you've got, drag the old bike out of the shed, take it to a trail centre. You go to a trail centre on a 26-inch bike, and no one's going to take the mick. People are going to stop and go, oh wow, I remember, you know, I used to have one of those when I was so-and-so, and that was my first bike I ever had, and that's what got me into People are friendly. People don't care, you know. Nobody's going to laugh at you because you don't have the latest and greatest. Half of it you don't need anyway. It's all just marketing. You know, they're trying to sell new bikes all the time. They need to keep coming up with these different things, like the 32-inch wheels, which are going to appear soon. But yeah, no, people are great. People are great out there, and there's somewhere you can ride everything. There are trails at trail centres. You can ride a 26-inch mountain bike and have a really good time, you know, just for exercise, or, you know, push the limits of it a little bit and have a bit of fun. See what you can, you know, how much you can ride on it. But yeah, I'll stop babbling now and going on. But yeah, basically, don't wait. Go and get your old bike out of the shed and just ride it.